Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Allah Akbar. Deus nosso aqui, assim, tipo de um barrigu, dá, perguntar. Já. Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Amen. Kyrie eleison. Civil Master Sabrigatahi. Sabe Sata Bavantu Sukita. Pagabia. Umbuntu. Shabon. Aquaba. Upendanaman. Sheshe. Kamusunida. Domo arigato. Lumayelo Bavantu. Takado Kashingu. Yabu Hindu. Blessings from the God. Atajama Yatahamani. Aho.
Namaste, Assalamu alaikum, Shalom, Ni hao, Buenos dias, Heseche, Aquaba, Welcome. What up, though? Today we have a story. This story is from Arabia, Arabian tradition, Arabian Nights. Uno mil uno, Arabian Noches to be exact. It is the story of Nur al-Din and his son Badr al-Din Hassan. And as we share this story today, we keep in mind the principle of forgiveness. From the English language, Anglo-Saxon, we can look at the etymology of the word forgiveness, the principle of it as well. For, meaning the utmost, the greatest, the highest. Give, the offering of oneself. And ness, the abode of. Thus, forgiveness is the abode of the greatest offering of oneself. And we keep this in mind as we share the story of Nur al-Din and his son Badr al-Din Hassan. So, this story begins in Egypt, Cairo to be exact. And in Cairo, there is the wazir. Wazir is the spiritual consigliere for the sultan, the king, the chief, the head honcho. This wazir is known for being wise, and he has two sons, who are also known for being wise. The elder son, strong reputation, carries the lineage of his father. The younger son, he's even nicer. Further reputation for his wisdom, compassion, knowledge. And as the days, the moons, the years continue, the wazir becomes elder. And as he's preparing for passing, he makes arrangements with the sultan to transfer his position and title, his role, his responsibilities to both of his sons, such that both sons become the wazir to the sultan, and that is what happens. So, this arrangement is proficient. Both sons are able to do a fine job for the sultan in the initial stages. They share responsibilities. Sometimes one wazir goes with the sultan on trips, and sometimes the other wazir does it. They share the responsibilities. One evening, as the elder brother is preparing for a trip with the sultan to a nearby land, the brothers are having a conversation. And the younger brother says, elder brother, what do you think? What we should do if I were to get married and you were to get married? If I have my wife and you have your wife, and we do that on the same day. I get married with my wife on the same day that you get married with your wife. And then later on, I have a son on the same day you have a daughter, if my son is born on the same day that your daughter is born, you think we should have my son and your daughter marry each other? The elder brother says, that's a fantastic idea. We got strong lineage in our family. We continue it, we carry it. Yes, done deal, let's do that. So then the younger brother says, oh, okay, so then what do you think should be the bridal price that my son should pay to marry your daughter? What should be the dowry, the dower? The elder brother says, oh, now that's a strong question because we're talking about my daughter now. It's got to be commensurate with her value, with the strength of our reputation of our family. So, it's going to be up there. It's going to be a lot of gold. I'm going to throw in some other things as well. Cattle, this, that, the other. But particularly that gold, lots of it. It's loads. He names a number. And the younger brother says, whoa, what you talking about? All that. That's ridiculous. What you talking about? Exactly, we got strong reputation. You're talking about my son here. Our legacy, our name, the tradition of our father continues through me and through my son. What you talking about all that price? It should be just a token, a formality. His reputation, my son, should be sufficient as it is. What you talking about all that gold? Come on now, that's an insult. And the elder brother says, oh, come on, that's my daughter you're talking about now. How dare you even think of insulting her by sharing anything less than what I say? So they exchange insults to the point that the elder brother says, you know what? You're lucky I'm sharing this wazirite with you. I'm only doing it because I'm being nice. And now you want me to pay all this and that and the other? Let that go for my daughter? Come on. You know what? Nah. Ain't no way my daughter ever gonna marry your son. Ever. Don't talk to me ever again. Get on with you. And the younger brother says, you're exactly right. My son's never marrying your daughter. You don't talk to me. That's it. Done deal. And they separate. The elder brother and the younger brother go in different directions. The next day, the elder brother continues on with the Sultan to Giza, the land of the pyramids. And the younger brother says, oh, that bro, he's tripping. And I see him now. Ain't no way, ain't enough space in this joint for both of us. I got to go. So he packs up his joint. He makes some provisions, loads up his donkey, tells the servants, I got to get some air, got to get some space. Don't follow me. Don't worry about me. Just keep on doing what you're doing. I'm going to take care of myself. So he goes off. He travels to the nearby towns, and he continues on to Yerushalayim and continues all the way on, a few days journey all the way to Basra. He arrives in Basra, and when he does, he's still steaming. But as he rests there, there's a wazir in Basra who observes him, who observes the quality of his donkey. And he says, that young man, he's got composure. He holds himself with dignity. I can see he's had some training. So the wazir indeed summons him, asks him some questions, and the younger brother, whose name is Nur al-Din, he tells him his story. He tells him what he did with his brother, and that he's looking for refuge, looking for someplace different. And the wazir of Basra says, well, I can tell by the way you hold yourself, you carry yourself, you speak, you articulate, you got training. Ain't nobody in this town, in the nearby vicinity, up to the caliber that you are. And I've got this daughter. Ain't nobody qualified to be with her except for you. I want you to marry my daughter. And I want you to inherit the wazirite here of Basra. I'll talk to the Sultan. I'll arrange it. I'll tell him that You're the son of my long lost brother from a distant land. I promised my daughter to you. I'll take care of it. So Nur al-Din says, ah, what fortune. A turn of events. Favorable. Yes, of course. That sounds fantastic. And that is what happens. So Nur al-Din marries the daughter of the wazir in Basra. And meanwhile, back in Cairo, when the elder brother returns, he's had a chance to cool off. And when he returns, he says, oh, we had some harsh words with my brother, but I think we can patch it up. Where's he at? The servants say, he said he was going to go on a trip. We ain't seen him for days and weeks. What's going on? So the elder brother says, oh, okay, you got some space. The days and the weeks pass by, and then the elder brother says, I'm starting to get worried. Let's send somebody out. Let's send some scouts out. Tell them it's okay. We cool off. We're okay. Let's heal this up. So he sends the scouts out to the nearby towns. Ain't nobody seen him. Ain't no word about him anywhere. So the elder brother says, hey, this is I don't know. This ain't like him to do this before. What's going on? And the elder brother begins to be lamentful, sorrowful, and continues in his tasks as the wazir for the sultan in Cairo. He himself marries a woman in Cairo on the same day that his younger brother does. And a wee bit later, the wazir in Cairo, the elder brother, he and his wife have a daughter who is born on the same day that the younger brother, Nur al-Din, and his wife have a son. So back in Basra, Nur al-Din and his wife have a son. And the son is handsome. And the son gains so much favor from all the people around Basra and the sultan, saying, that's a fine looking baby. And he's doted upon, given all types of gifts and attention and blessings. And he's raised in the wisdom of Nur al-Din and the tradition, the legacy of his family. He becomes wise and he sits on in the sultan's affairs and gives advice as a youngster, impressing the sultan and strengthening the name of his family. The sultan bestows many gifts upon Nur al-Din. Gold, boats, ships, and additionally houses, servants, all that. Much favor. And as the years continue on, Nur al-Din reaches his final days on this earth, and he prepares some things for his son, Badr al-Din Hassan. He tells Badr al-Din Hassan the story of his family, his migration from Cairo, the argument with his brother, the promise he makes of marrying his son, Badr al-Din Hassan, to the daughter of his brother. He tells him everything. And writes some of the essential heritage of his family. In recording that Badr al-Din Hassan takes and sews into his head wrap to keep close to him wherever he goes. And when Nur al-Din shares what he has to share, he passes on. The Sultan grieves. Badr al-Din Hassan grieves. The entire town of Basra grieves. And so a period of grieving continues and passes. And eventually the Sultan says, alright, that is sad, but we're in benevolent hands. We've got Badr al-Din Hassan. He's a wise counsel. can continue on. And so after he gives Badr ad-Din Hassan enough experience, enough space to grieve, the Sultan says, okay, now it's time to get back to business. We've got some affairs to take care of. Busy work to do. But Badr ad-Din Hassan still grieves. Won't get out of bed, won't get out of the crib, out of the house. Won't do nothing. The Sultan calls for him. Badr ad-Din Hassan doesn't come. Time passes, and eventually the Sultan becomes infuriated. Oh, who is this Badr ad-Din Hassan? Won't respond to my commands. What benefit is he? He's beginning to undermine my authority. Can't have that.
Hey,
Fired. So
you're the same.
the Sultan, after his patience is expended, sends word for his servants to capture and arrest Badr ad-Din Hassan. The word goes out. But Badr ad-Din Hassan is oblivious, still grieving on the floor, malaise. When the word goes out, one of Nur ad-Din's loyal servants hurries to the house and tells Badr ad-Din Hassan, yo, you got to get out, they're coming for you. They're coming to take everything and do you up wrong. You got to get out. And Badr ad-Din Hassan wakes up from his stupor a wee bit, says, oh, okay, well, how much time do I got? What can I wrap up to continue? No, you got to go now. Right now. So Badr ad-Din Hassan runs up the house with what he has on. No provisions, nothing. Starts to run outside of that town before his captors can find him. He runs to the outside of the town, and as he does, he passes by the burial site of his father. Oh, he's got to stop. And he stops. And he reverts back to the grieving, wailing, and becomes paralyzed, just lying on the ground. As he's lying there, another brother walks by and says, Badr ad-Din Hassan, what's going on? What you doing? And he says, I haven't said my piece, my respects to my father today. I've got to do that. And so the young brother says, well, Badr ad-Din Hassan, one of your father's boats are scheduled to arrive this week. I've got a sack of gold I want to give you, but I want you to write over the treasures, the products that are on that boat to me. Let's sign a contract. So Badr ad-Din Hassan says, oh, right, I forgot about that. I got to get out of here. Give me that gold. So he signs the contract, signs over everything on the boat, and laments, oh, this is the last what my father has to give me for my inheritance. Look what I'm doing. But what can I do else? So he takes the gold, gives the contract, puts the contract into the writings that he's got with him, and collapses again. The brother walks on his way. Badr ad-Din Hassan again falls paralyzed, grieving. He stays there, and the night continues on. It gets darker and darker. Eventually, an angel sees Badr ad-Din Hassan lying on the ground there, and beholds the handsomeness of Badr ad-Din Hassan and says, that's a fine looking dude. And another angel arrives from a distance and says, yo, I just came back from this wedding chamber. There is a beautiful woman whose beauty you've never seen before. The one angel who sees Badr ad-Din Hassan says, there's no person looks as nice as this dude. Nobody deserves to be with him. And the other angel from the other land says, yo, this one young lady, this one young sister, she's beautiful, but nobody deserves to be with her. No one is her equal. So they decide to compare. And in the comparison, they bring Badr ad-Din Hassan. Now, it just so happens that this other sister is in Cairo. It is the daughter of she is being prepared for her own wedding under some tenacious conditions because she is beautiful. And the wazir, the elder brother, tries to hold out in marrying her as long as he can in order to marry her to her brother's son, his nephew, to Badr al-Din Hassan, whom he's never met. But in the years that transpire, he begins to recognize the situation. His brother is estranged, but he wants to honor that pledge. He's so sorrowful, so grieveful for the years, for the separation, for the detachment. The least he can do is honor the compact that they make on that evening and maintain his daughter so that his daughter, that she can marry Badr al-Din Hassan, the son of his brother. But the wazir's daughter is beautiful and gets the attention of all the men in Cairo, including Sultan. And Sultan says, "Ah, wazir, trusted wazir, beloved, wise wazir, you have a beautiful daughter, and I want to marry her." And the wazir says, "Excuse me, sir, you know the story of my younger brother, what happened, our estrangement. We made a promise to each other that his son would marry my daughter, and I know I ain't talked to him in a long time, but I got to honor that. So please understand, please respect. I can't offer my daughter to anybody but to his son." And the Sultan says, "Oh, wazir, what you talking about? When the Sultan tells you, you jump, you jump. Now, since you try to refuse me, I ain't going to marry your daughter, but she's going to marry the nastiest looking, ruggedest dude in my crew. That's who she going to marry. You think you can say no to me? Come on now. Who run this?" So that's what the Sultan does, arranges the marriage between the daughter of the wazir and, oh, rough dude. And that's the wedding evening that the beautiful woman is being prepared for, when the angels compare whose beauty is better. When the angels arrive with Badr al-Din Hassan in Cairo, they prepare Badr al-Din Hassan to approach the wedding party because they have in mind to intercede and to bring together Badr al-Din Hassan and the beautiful daughter of the wazir. So they dress Badr al-Din Hassan with fine robe, put in his pocket gold, never-ending, bottomless pocket of gold. Every time he reaches in, gold coins. And they say, walk through the wedding party with confidence. Let no one stop ya. When somebody approaches, let's throw them some gold coins. When the young maidens approach, throw some gold coins. Smile, be nice, be confident, don't stop. So that's what he does. He reaches all the way through the wedding party. And every time somebody approaches, gold coins, and people rush forward, say, oh, look at this fine young looking man and how he carries himself and always so rich and looking and handsome with the robe and everything else. Wow, who that? Ain't nobody deserved this beautiful young woman except for him. Who's that rough dude over there? Forgot about him. So Badr al-Din Hassan walks all the way through the wedding party and sees the bride. And he is thunderstruck. Haha. And the bride sees him. Now, she has in mind, she says to herself as she's being prepared for the wedding beforehand, she says, she might just do away with herself because ain't no way she can stand to be married to some rugged dude. But when she sees Badr al-Din Hassan, she says, that's the dude. She knows that's his. she knows that's her husband, the one she's destined for. Then, as the two see each other, the rugged dude, the fiancé, says, "Oh, excuse me, fine young man. We appreciate you coming through and being charming, but that's all right. We're going to continue with the wedding now." And so Badr ad-Din Hassan becomes humble and says, "All right." But the angel's not having none of that. As the wedding party is excused and the bride is returned to prepare for the wedding evening, the angels tell Badr ad-Din Hassan to go to the wedding chamber and to complete the wedding ceremony. When the rugged dude goes to the lavatory, one of the angels goes underneath the door as a mouse, and then turns into a cat, and then into a dog, and then into a pig, and then into a donkey, and then begins to curse the rugged man. He says, "What you doing trying to marry my woman?" Now, when the rugged man sees this, he becomes petrified. He says, "Oh, excuse me, Mr. Donkey Angel, may not try to do nothing wrong here. It wasn't my decision. I'm just doing what the Sultan told me to do." So the angel upbraids him further and then puts him into the stall upside down, his head into the whole button, and says, "Don't you even think of coming out until after the soleil rises, after the revealing of the soleil." And so the rugged dude says, "Right, ain't no problem with that, tenfold." So with that done, the angels then again, Badr ad-Din Hassan, complete the ceremony of the wedding. And that is what Badr ad-Din Hassan does. He stays there, and as the bride arrives with her escort, the elder Moor, the auntie of the community, the auntie gives wife to Badr ad-Din Hassan, and the two talk through the evening and become husband and wife. As the AM arrives, the angels return to the wedding chamber and remove Badr ad-Din Hassan in the middle of his slumber, without his outer garments on, without his head wrap and everything else that he removes, just the little overshirt that he has. And they bring him back on the way to Basra, where they've done scooped him up. But thunder strikes, and it is necessary to drop off Badr ad-Din Hassan in Damascus on the way. And that's what happens. He's left on the outskirts of Damascus with only his overshirt on, and the bride is left in the wedding chamber alone after completing the marriage with Badr ad-Din Hassan. The Wazir of Cairo, the Far, the next day arrives, and he hears different rumors, this, that, the other, what's going on. He sees his daughter, he sees the garments left behind by Badr ad-Din Hassan, he sees the writings, and he recognizes his brother's writing. He recognizes the heritage teachings that are inscribed in those writings. He knows who it is. He sees the rugged dude in the lavatory. "What you doing, boy? Get on with yourself." And so the Wazir says, there are things at work here. Now back in Damascus, Badr ad-Din Hassan wakes up and finds himself surrounded by the townspeople saying, "Who that is? What's going on with him? what's his business doing out with all this business out? They start asking him, who are you? Where you come from? He says, well, I come from Basra, but I spent the last night in Cairo. They say, what you talking about? Silly mind. You woke up in Basra, you spent the night in Cairo, and now you're here in Damascus. Yo, what foolishness you talking about? Don't tell people that. Yo, they're not gonna think nice things about you. So he tries to figure out what's happening, gather his wits, but in the strange town, ain't too much around for him to establish himself. As he further collects himself a wee bit, there is a baker who has a store, and Badr Hassan passes by the store. The baker sees him and says, that guy looks like he needs some help. So he helps him out, and they talk for a while. Badr Hassan tells him the story, and the baker says, you know what, you seem legit, you seem wise. I don't know what's going on, but I need some help in the store, and I'm looking to pass on my provisions to someone who can inherit and make something with what I have to share. So this store is what I got. If you are my apprentice, you work for me, I'll help you out. So that's what happens. Badr Hassan works for the baker, works in the store, and that continues on for years. Now back in Cairo, the beautiful woman, the beautiful wife, she conceives. There is a son who is born to the husband and wife, to Badr Hassan and the daughter of the wazir. The son is born in Cairo and is raised, and he's handsome again, gets favor, smart, intelligent, and he is raised by the wazir, his grandfather, and by his mother. And he's handsome, he's smart, but he also has a wee bit of an attitude. And he bullies the other children, makes fun of them, taunts them, all types of nasty stuff. And they get angry at him, but they don't know how to get back at him because he's got some skills. So they tell one of the elders, yo, he keeps on bothering us. We don't know what to do. So the elder says, this is what you do. You go to the playground and you say to everybody, we only can play with people who know who their father is. So the next day they go, and when the grandson begins taunting again, the grandson approaches the other boys, and the boys say, we can only play with those who know who their father is. So the grandson says, my father is the wazir. And they say, no, you don't know who your father is. You can't play with us, sorry. And so the grandson says, what? And so the grandson goes to the elder that gave the other boys the advice, and the elder says, that's the facts, sorry. You don't know who your daddy is. Wazir is your granddaddy. You can't play that off any further. And so the grandson is flummoxed, befuddled. And he goes back to his Moor and he says, Moor, who's my father? And the Moor says, And the grandson goes to the wazir, and the grandson says, what? Who's my father? And the wazir says, I guess we got to tell. Now the grandson, by this point, he's a boy man, a man boy, about 13 years old, thereabouts. And the wazir decides, okay, it's time for us to go search for your father. From the notes, from the writings, the wazir knows something about Basra, where his brother resides, where his brother settles. And so he goes to the Sultan and says, yeah, we got to make this trip. Got to find out who the Far is. So that's what the Wazir does. He and the daughter and the grandson go to find the Far. Now, on the way to Basra, they stop in Damascus. And they're on the outskirts of Damascus, just stopping by. And the grandson says, yeah, I'm getting tired of all this traveling. I need to get some like little city. Like, let's go inside, see what's happening on the city. And the caretaker, the guardian of the grandson, he's a eunuch guard. Don't want to hear too much mess. He has to fend people away from the boy because the boy is handsome and people just are awed by him, and he has got charisma. So he doesn't feel like going to the city and fending all everybody else away from him. He's like, yo, dude, come on, let's not do that. But the grandson wins over. They go into the city, and as they go to the city, they pass by the store where Badr ad-Din Hassan is now the shopkeep. He has inherited the store 13 years later. And he sees the young boy, the grandson, walking. He says, whoa, that's a handsome man. He reminds me of me. And the Badr ad-Din Hassan begins to experience that sorrow, that grief, that lamentation of who he used to be before his Far passes, who he could have been, who he wants to be when he sees the grandson there, who is his actual son, but he doesn't know that. And so he says, oh, I have to, he approaches the boy and the servant and says, come over to my store, come over to my shop, let me give you some food. And so the boy says, I kind of, this dude seems to have a nice vibe. Let's stop do what he says. Let's have some food. So he wins over again the servant. They have food, they have a meal, fantastic conversation, wisdom, righteousness, knowledge, verbal skills. They got it. And so the boy, the grandson, says, all right, well, thanks for the combo. Thanks for the food. We're going to be on our way now. And where the Badr ad-Din Hassan first was sorrowful and lamentful of who he could have been when he sees the young boy, now he's like, oh, wait a minute. That's such a fantastic combo. Nobody can talk like that. It's going to be such an absence afterwards. So after the boy and the servant go on the way back to the outskirts to go back onto Basra, Badr ad-Din Hassan begins to follow and says, oh, maybe I can like go with them on their trip to find whoever they're looking for, whatever. And when the boy, the grandson, and the servant see Badr ad-Din Hassan following them all the way on the outskirts of the town, the servant says, I told you, man, come on, yo, they keep following you, man, they can't help but love you. And even this dude, yo, man, he's suspect. Yo, come on, man, we can't be messing around with these cats like that. And indeed, the boy says, you're right, man. Yo, get away from me, dude. And Badr ad-Din Hassan just tries to, that was a fantastic combo. But the boy, he pick up a stone and say, get away, pop, throws it. Knocks him on the head, in the forehead, knocks him out. And continues on his way. So, the young boy, the servant, the grandfather, aka the Wazir, and the daughter, aka the Moor, the grandson, they continue on the way to Basra. When they get to Basra, they learn the story. Nur ad-Din passes, but they meet the wife of Nur ad-Din, the Moor of Badr ad-Din. And she tells them further about the story, about her son, about what happened. He had to leave. He didn't do his job for the Sultan. The Sultan got salty. All that. And they say, oh, we almost found him. So they begin to wax about that as well. They stay in Basra for a while. The Wazir is determined to find some way to make it work. They stay in Basra. And as they stay in Basra, the boy, he said, you know what? That shopkeep dude, he was alright. I feel kind of bad that we did him like that. Because I knocked him out, didn't even see if he was alright. Maybe he was just, he's right, cats like that ain't got combo like that. So we shouldn't have just done him like that. The servant says, I don't care, man, whatever. But after the days pass in Basra, it gets boring. The boy wants to talk again like that. He's like, yo, let's go back to that shopkeep. So they go back to Damascus. And the shopkeep says, oh, fantastic. You're right. I was tripping. Here's some food. Eat. So they eat up. And they eat. And they can't stop because it's so tasty. But eventually, they're like, yo, we got to go on. So they go back to Basra. And when they get back to Basra, the Moor of Badr ad-Din Hassan, who lives in Basra, prepares a meal. And she offers it to the grandson and the servant, and they both refuse, like, yo, we can't eat nothing. Come on, that looks nasty to us at this moment. It was tasty yesterday, but it looks nasty because we just so full. And so the Moor of Badr ad-Din Hassan says, wait a minute, ain't nobody can refuse what I got to offer like this. That you're tripping, ain't nobody ever done that. And they're like, yo, we had some of the fantastic, best consomme, got some pomegranates in it. Oh, I can't even think about eating that, what you got right there. And she said, yeah, right. Ain't nobody can make consomme, pomegranate mixed like me. And like, yo, we had some of yours, but it don't even touch what we had with this dude over here. We don't mean no disrespect, but just let you know, that's why we so full right now. We can't eat what you got. She's like, I'm gonna have to see what you're talking about here, because it's serious. Nobody can make it except me or my son. Ha ha. So that's what they do. The servant goes back to the shop, says, yo, give us some of that consomme with the pomegranate. We gotta share it, because, you know, we're doing a little bit of testing. So that's what he does, makes it up nice, and the servant goes back to Basra with the consomme. And the Moor of Badr ad-Din Hassan says, she tastes it, yo, there's only one person who can make it like this, and I know who that is. So they go back, reunited, and it feels so well. The story is complete. The family is brought together. The Wazir of Cairo is able to complete the compact that he makes with his brother many years before that. And his daughter marries the son of his brother. And the grandson is reunited with his father, Badr ad-Din Hassan. And Badr ad-Din Hassan is reunited with his wife. They go back to Cairo. Badr ad-Din Hassan is brought by the Wazir under some surreptitious pretenses. And brought back to the chamber where Badr ad-Din Hassan meets his wife for the first occasion 13 some odd years ago, and sees his wife again, and he says, must be dreaming. And the wife says, yeah, you were. Took you a long while to come back, but that's what it is. Badr ad-Din Hassan reunited with his wife, meets his mother again, meets his son, meets his father-in-law, aka his uncle, and the family is reunited. The pact between the brothers is sealed, and there is well-being. That is the story, one telling, of Nur ad-Din and his son Badr al-Din Hassan. And in sharing the story, again, we consider the principle of forgiveness, the abode of the greatest offering of oneself. Namaste, assalamu alaikum, shalom, zaijian, adios, jaguis, simpin asamugu, kile ufred. One love and peace.
Them talk about these stories. We do our best within these stories to optimize the legitimacy within the stories, our pronunciation, the language, the sources from which we derive the stories, and the manner in which we inform and inspire authenticity within the recipients of these stories to continue the legacy, the inheritance, the treasures of these stories. There are treasures. These stories are rich, and these stories have responsibility. We share these stories with the purpose, with the guidance of knowledge of self, to get a better knowledge of ourselves, an understanding of ourselves, a respect for ourselves and for each other, to better live in peace, harmony, prosperity with ourselves, with each other, with attunement with the Tao, the path, the way, the Dharma, the great mystery, the will of God. In any and all the ways we understand that.